He had gone to the stable that night for the same reason he went every night. He couldn't sleep, to be near something that didn't judge him for the grief he carried. The winter air cut through the wooden boards of the barn, moonlight spilling across the straw like pale silver water, and his lantern swayed softly in his hand as he stepped inside. That was when he froze. Curled against the side of his horse, barely visible beneath the shadows, was a woman, young, thin, exhausted beyond words. Her hair clung to her face, her dress was torn at the hem, and her bare feet were red from cold. She looked fragile, like someone the world had already broken and forgotten. He should have spoken. He should have demanded answers. Instead, something in his chest tightened, because she wasn't afraid. Not even when the horse shifted slightly beneath her arm. She was sleeping as if she felt safe, as if this was the first place in a long time where she could finally rest. He took a step closer, the lantern glow brushing her face, and that's when her lips moved. Barely a sound, just breath and pain and memory woven together. She whispered a name he hadn't heard spoken aloud in over 3 years. His late wife's name. His knees nearly gave out. The world tilted, the barns spinning around him as memories slammed into his chest. The way his wife used to hum while brushing the horses. The way she laughed softly. The way she died too young and left him hollow. How could this stranger know her name? He stood there, torn between waking her and letting her sleep, between fear and a strange, aching hope he didn't want to feel. Snow drifted through the open doorway, the moon hanging low and bright behind him, and for the first time in years, the silence of the ranch felt like it was holding its breath. He draped his coat gently over her shoulders without waking her, his hands trembling, and as he turned to leave, he heard her whisper again, not the name this time, but a broken plea for warmth, for safety, for something she had clearly lost. And as he stood there listening, he knew one thing with terrifying certainty. This woman had walked into his life for a reason, and whatever that reason was, it was tied to a past he thought he had buried forever. If you feel stories like this pulling at your heart, don't forget to subscribe, because what comes next will stay with you long after the final word. Morning light revealed the truth he wasn't ready for. She woke slowly, confusion flickering across her face as she realized she wasn't alone. Her body stiff from cold and hunger, her eyes darting toward the door like a trapped animal's. He spoke gently, keeping his distance, offering food, warmth, and something she clearly hadn't been given in a long time: choice. Her name was Clara, and she was a widow, barely 24. Her husband taken by illness just months after they married. Her home lost. Debt she didn't understand until men came knocking with papers and threats. She had wandered from town to town, turned away again and again, sleeping wherever she could, until the storm forced her into the barn she thought was abandoned. When he finally asked about the name she whispered in her sleep, her face went pale. She hadn't known it consciously, she said. She had heard it once, long ago, from a woman who gave her bread when no one else would. A woman who had spoken about a kind rancher she loved deeply, a man who believed broken things could still be mended. His wife. The realization hit him harder than grief ever had. His wife's kindness had rippled outward long after her death, reaching this broken young woman when she needed it most, and now fate had brought that ripple crashing back into his life. Days passed, then weeks. Clara healed slowly, physically and emotionally, learning the rhythms of the ranch, laughing softly in ways that startled him because they sounded like hope. He fought the guilt that rose every time he felt warmth return to his chest. Every time he caught himself smiling, loving again felt like betrayal, until one night, standing beneath the same moon, he understood something his wife had always known. Love doesn't replace what's lost. It honors it by continuing. When Clara finally told him she had nowhere else to go, his answer came without hesitation. Then stay! And as the lantern light flickered between them, he felt the past and future meet, not as pain but as purpose. If this story touched your heart, if you believe healing comes in unexpected ways, subscribe to the channel Because the next story might be the one that changes how you see hope forever.